local, late breaking. This is 4029 News Sunrise on the Arkansas CW.
This morning on Sunrise, temperatures are comfortable now, but throughout the week you'll notice a big warm up. Details on those hot temperatures coming up in your Get Ready weather forecast.
And heat safety tips, how you can stay safe and still be outdoors this summer. Plus,
former President Donald Trump sits for a probation interview today. I'm Amy Lou in Washington with how that could impact the punishment in his hush money case.
And the overall well-being of children in Arkansas has declined since the pandemic. Details about the newest report. 4029 News Sunrise starts right now. Good Monday morning and welcome to 4029 News Sunrise. I'm Phil Reed.
And I'm Lakira Banks. 4029 meteorologist Majestic Storm is here with your Get Ready weather. So Majestic, how's the week shaping up?
You know, it's actually beautiful out there, not only this morning, but even in the afternoon. We'll have lots of sunshine this week, hardly any rain in our 7-day forecast. So you'll notice the dry, warm, and muggy conditions this week, especially by the middle to end of the week. We'll start you out this morning on your Monday with a live look outside. This is in northwest Arkansas, Washington County. Taking a look at the beautiful university right there in Fayetteville. Clear skies already, and those temperatures actually in northwest Arkansas, they actually feel pretty nice. Most of us are starting out the day into the 50s and some low 60-degree temperatures. We're at 54 in Rogers, 58 in Fayetteville, and 54 across the Centerton area. As we head into the River Valley, this is out there near Fort Smith. A few high clouds out there currently, but mostly sunny skies to help wake you up on your Monday morning. We're at 67 degrees right now across Pocola and Spiro, 70 from Poto to LaFleur, and 65 as you head over towards Ozark. You can see satellite radar looks fine. A few sprinkles just south of us. Few high clouds in the River Valley like we just saw, and you can see in our 12-hour forecast, temperatures will rise into the low 80s today in northwest Arkansas. Whether you're heading out to the lake or heading off to work, get ready for a beautiful Monday ahead. A full look at those warming temperatures on the way. Melissa.
It is a beautiful day as you're getting out. Make sure you got that favorite pair of sunglasses. You're going to need it. We're looking in Van Buren where we're not seeing any issues there in Crawford County. So if you're coming in on Alma Highway, maybe that's the way you like to head over to 540, 35 miles an hour. They're on Main Street, no backups. South 4th Street, no issues. And on 540 itself, as you can see, nothing but green. Here's a live look there at that 64 interchange. Traffic moving along very smoothly, not a cloud in the sky, just a gorgeous start to the day. So if you're coming from 540 heading toward downtown, it's going to take you 15 minutes. Making that 540 to the airport trip, that's an 8-minute drive for you today. And if you're going all the way from there up in Crawford County and Van Buren, heading south in Sebastian County to 271, well, just under a half an hour for you. Across the whole area, nothing but green. That's 540, and as you take a look, getting onto 40 and even heading north onto 49, no big backups right now. Lakira, Phil.
Thanks, Melissa. Health officials have some advice for people looking to protect themselves from the heat.
They say wearing loose clothing can help your body breathe. Plan outdoor activities either early or later in the day. Pace yourself and be aware of how your body is feeling. And most importantly, stay hydrated. Along with checking the SPF rating on sunscreen, it's important to find one that's water resistant like chemical sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens are also often easier to apply and transparent on the skin, while mineral sunscreens can be good for those with sensitive or acne-prone skin. A hiker from Georgia fell hundreds of feet from a cliff while hiking on a volcano in Guatemala. Zane Walyani bruised his kidney and shoulder in the fall, and his cell phone was dead. So for 4 nights, he slept inside caves and even inside trees. He eventually stumbled onto a road where he ran into police. 7:04, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in the Middle East this week, calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
It comes as Israel carried out a raid over the weekend that rescued 4 hostages held by Hamas that resulted in many civilian deaths. Sunday, one of Prime Minister Netanyahu's war cabinet ministers, Benny Gantz, resigned over his handling of the war. Hunter Biden's federal gun charges trial continues today. Last week, both sides presented their witnesses, including several women who had relationships with Hunter Biden and testified about his drug addiction. His daughter also testified, and she said she knew her father was struggling with addiction, but never saw him using drugs. Former President Trump will sit in for a probation interview today, a required step before sentencing in his hush money conviction in New York.
4029's Amy Liu is live in our Washington bureau this morning. And Amy, what's expected to happen in this interview?
Phil and Lakira, Trump is expected to sit down with probation officials. That's in order to give and help inform the judge to determine a punishment for this crime. Now, this proceeding comes just about a month before he's supposed to be due for sentencing following that felony conviction for falsifying business records. Trump will be doing the interview by video conference from his Mar-a-Lago estate today with one of his lawyers present. He maintains his innocence and is planning to appeal. Meanwhile, though, the conviction galvanizing his supporters and boosting fundraising. That's according to Trump, who rallied supporters in triple-digit heat in Las Vegas on Sunday.
Hundreds of thousands of people contributed that they wouldn't have except for the court case. And our poll numbers are higher now than they were before because the people are watching and they know a fake deal. And this guy can't get elected without it. He can't get elected. He's incompetent.
Meanwhile, the judge overseeing this case can impose any wide range of punishments from probation to community service to up to 4 years in prison. Phil and Lakira.
So, Amy, following today's probation interview, what will Trump do next?
Well, he's back on the campaign trail. Today, he's going to be speaking before a group of Christians who have called for abortion to be, quote unquote, eradicated entirely. Now, he's going to be talking to them virtually in this event that's happening in Indianapolis. It's comprised of a group of Christian organizations alongside the Southern Baptist Convention. But important to note here that Trump has said before he would not sign a national abortion ban, instead leaving that decision ultimately up to each individual state. Back to you.
Amy, thanks. Now, during his Las Vegas rally, Trump hit on President Biden's handling of the border and immigration and vowed to end taxes on tips, appealing to Nevada service workers. Trump would need the support of Congress to make those changes to the tax code.
WNBA rookie Caitlin Clark snubbed from the U.S. Women's Olympic basketball team.
Coming up, her response and why some analysts say she didn't make the team. Plus, a look at how the women's Razorback track team won their national championship over the weekend.
Welcome back to 4029 News Sunrise. The time is now 7:10.
The overall well-being of children in Arkansas has declined since the COVID-19 pandemic.
A new report released overnight states that if the trend continues, it might not be enough to support industries like healthcare and education in the state. 4029's Lillian Hatch joins us live in the studio with what's leading to the decline and what can be done to stop it. Lillian?
That's right. One group says that the release of the 2024 Kids Data Book shows that students were negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. And according to the report released by the Annie E. Casey Foundation, as of 2022, 70% of fourth graders are not proficient in reading. And when it comes to math, 81% of eighth graders are not proficient in the subject. The executive director for Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families says one way to stop the decline is by investing in your child's education early.
Starting children out with a strong foundation when they're 3 and 4 starts to help, a child's mind is always developing. So we need to start as early as possible so that they're ready for kindergarten. And unfortunately, we've slipped over the years because we haven't made the same level of investment.
Children from low-income families or who attended low-income schools are more likely to score worse on reading and math proficiency tests. Now, coming up in the next half hour, the call leaders are making to help address poverty in the state. Live in the studio, Lillian Hatch, 4029 News.
Thanks. You may have noticed the Razorback football stadium lit up red last night. That's a celebration of the women's track and field team coming home with yet another national championship.
The Razorbacks picked up their 9th ever NCAA title yesterday, thanks to a pair of historic performances. Led by Nikisha Price, the Hawks combined for Arkansas's first ever super sweep in the 400 meter, resulting in 29 points and a jump into first place. But the best was yet to come for the group, who reunited in the final event of the day. With one hand already on the title, the foursome shattered a collegiate record, winning the 4x4 relay with a time of 3:17.96. With last night's win, the women complete the sweep of both the NCAA indoor and outdoor titles, while bringing home a national championship number 51 for Arkansas as a whole. The 2024 NBA Finals continued Sunday night with not just one, but two former Razorbacks suiting up for action.
Daniel Gafford and the Mavericks looking to make up for their blowout loss in Game 1, and they're facing Jordan Walsh and the Boston Celtics. Mavericks got off to a strong start. Check out that 1-foot fadeaway by Luka Doncic. He had 13 points in the first quarter, Dallas leading 28-25 after one. The Celtics started to heat up, finding their rhythm. Derek White, you don't leave him wide open in the corner. Switches that three-pointer. Boston has his first lead of the game, and the Celtics continue to put the distance between the two. They led by as many as 14 points. The lead did shrink to 5 with just under 2 minutes to play, but Boston took care of business on home court, winning Game 2 105-98. The Celtics now just 2 wins away from a championship ring. Game 3 scheduled for Wednesday night at 7:30 in Dallas. Now to an Olympic-sized controversy in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark reportedly saying they've awakened a monster.
4029's Melissa Hall is live in the newsroom with more this morning. Good morning.
WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark says U.S. basketball officials called her directly to tell her she had not made the U.S. women's Olympic basketball team. Of the 12 players on the Olympic team, only 3 will be first-time Olympians, and all have played at least 3 years in the WNBA. But insiders say there may be another reason for the snub.
They were hearing one of the sticking points for Caitlin Clark was that there was concern about her immense fan base being unhappy that she was only getting a few minutes of playing time.
Many analysts call the decision a missed opportunity for Team USA. As for Clark, she appears to be staying positive, saying it only motivates her moving forward. There's still a chance Clark could play at the Olympics. If one player gets hurt, she could take that player's spot. Live in the newsroom, Melissa Hall, 4029 News.
Melissa, thanks. This week in Bentonville, USA Cycling is set to announce its Paris 2024 Olympic mountain biking team. The men's and women's rosters will be revealed Tuesday at the Ledger at 10 a.m. at the Ledger. Winning gold in the Olympic Games is the focus for Team USA, but it turns out medaling in the kitchen can be just as challenging.
As Hearst Olympic correspondent Jason Newton found, there are quite a few cooks among Olympic hopefuls.
Some relax with a trip to the spa. For others, quiet time at home does the trick. And then there are members of Team USA swapping their sweats for sweets as their getaway.
I love to cook. I'd say it's one of my hidden talents.
Callahan Young has cooked an opponent or two on the goal ball court, but at home, the only roasting is in the kitchen.
I started just putting on my story just random things I was cooking, and I would call it Cooking with Cal.
The social media stories took off and were suddenly sought after.
It turned into this thing where people were like, when's the next episode coming out? I'm like, episode of what? The thing that I think is really good is my cinnamon rolls. I'm not very good at the tedious part of like rolling up the roll itself, but I think they don't look the prettiest, but they taste really good.
Emily Sonnet stays in her lane though, and baking isn't her thing.
I think like cooking's a little bit more like personality, like a salmon, rice, avocado, and like roasted vegetables. Maybe like a homemade pizza, but like really nice dough. Dabbled into making pasta a little bit, which seems hard, but it's really not.
As a weightlifter, Hampton Morris, along with owning several lifting records, he also owns 7 different coffee makers.
I like the ritual aspect of like actually making the coffee.
While they love to cook, they also have to fuel up. Remember that epic Michael Phelps breakfast: 3 fried egg sandwiches, 3 chocolate chip pancakes, a 5-egg omelet, 3 slices of French toast, a bowl of grits, and 2 cups of coffee. Breakfast of a champion. On the road to Paris, I'm Jason Newton.
Sounds pretty good.
Breakfast of a champion. As Majestic would say, that's a hearty breakfast.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's an old saying to enforce the health benefits of eating fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. But some may have remnants of pesticides that aren't so healthy.
ABC's Perry Russell explains.
Fruits and vegetables provide essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber, but some might also have harmful pesticides.
It's not realistic to think that you can totally avoid pesticides. And it's not also that, every instance of a pesticide is harmful.
Consumer Reports reviewed data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to determine the risk of dangerous pesticides in different fruits and vegetables. The good news, Consumer Reports says nearly 2/3 of the foods had little to no pesticide threat. Unfortunately, you can't tell if dangerous chemicals are present just by looking at your produce. But there are steps you can take to minimize your risk, like washing food before eating or cooking it.
You can't remove all pesticides by washing, but you can remove some, and that is why it's important.
Consumer Reports recommends running your produce under cold water for 15 to 20 seconds. When it comes to fruits and vegetables with edible peels like apples or potatoes,
Removing the peels may remove some pesticides, but we don't recommend necessarily doing that across the board as like a way to avoid pesticides because of the other benefits of those parts of the food.
and although it's often more expensive, purchasing produce that has the USDA organic label can also lower your risk.
In our data, we did find that in almost all cases, the organic versions of items were lower risk.
And don't be fooled by the pesticide-free labels, which are not regulated.
We are not demonizing fruits and vegetables. Most people do not eat enough fruits and vegetables. And so it is really good for you to eat lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. The good news is that a lot of good options pose really low pesticide risks. So you have many good options out there.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Time right now is 7:18, and good morning to everybody on the desk. You guys having a good morning?
Good morning. It's a good morning.
morning, Phil. So far, so good. We've only been with you for 5 hours, and now you're saying good morning to us?
Just now.
You know, I'm trying to work on this saying good morning thing. So, good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Phil. I think we made a difference, Lakira.
We did. We did.
We just had a whole conversation about this.
All right, well, today is beautiful out there this morning. We have a lot of sunshine, and really throughout our 7-day forecast, we'll have a stretch of nice weather to look forward to. Over the weekend, we did have a few thunderstorms that rolled through northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And Liz, you captured this one perfectly. She took this in Mountainburg, overlooking the Boston Mountains. Absolutely incredible. I love your view. Thank you for taking the time to take the picture and send it my way. Now, for us today, we're waking up to quiet conditions. Temperatures in northwest Arkansas are mainly into the 50s. It's 59 degrees in Siloam Springs, 66 out there in Sallisaw and Boonville, 70 though back towards Poto. As far as our dew point values go, it's not too bad in northwest Arkansas, so not really that muggy. A little bit more humid though in the River Valley with some 70s out there in LaFleur County. Taking a look at our four-legged forecast in northwest Arkansas, those temperatures today will rise into the low 80s. So if you have a fur baby, you want to get outside, take for a walk, you might want to do it sooner than later just to beat the heat. Whether you're going for a walk or you're working out in the yard, it is going to be a warm afternoon with mid-80s. It'd be a good day though to go get that car washed because we're looking at a stretch of nice weather. We really don't have a lot of rain in our 7-day forecast, but really what the big weather story is that those temperatures will keep on getting warmer and warmer through the middle to end of our work week. Not just more heat, but also more humidity. Our satellite and radar are across the southern plains. It looks all right. We do have a few clouds still rolling through across portions of the River Valley and a few showers just to the south of us. You can see there's 9 o'clock this morning. Temperatures will mainly be into the 70s, so still pretty comfortable. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can expect to see those 80-degree temperatures, mild around 7 o'clock after dinner time or so. And then tomorrow for our Tuesday, we kind of have a rinse and repeat forecast with 50s and 60s early in the morning, and then you can see those daytime highs. They'll rise back into the 80s. Even some low 90-degree temperatures will be possible in the River Valley. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll break down your full 7-day forecast, talking about a very warm end to the week. Melissa.
Let's talk traffic. It's Monday morning. Had a nice weekend, hopefully. If you're heading out on the south side of Fayetteville, you might encounter a little patchy fog, but we're not seeing any big backups until you get close to that Walmart Supercenter there on 62. Weddington actually all green right now. Here's a live look there for Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. That's exit 62 off of I-49. Things a lot quieter now that we don't have to worry about the kids trying to get out to high school or the junior high that are right there. So if you are coming from 16 to 72, it's 22 minutes. There at 62, that shot we were just looking at, heading up to 71 in Bentonville, 17 minutes. 412 to 112, 14 minutes. And you need the sunglasses all the way around, but you don't need to worry about traffic. Moving along smoothly.